Welcome everyone. We'll be taking a look at the relatively new Unreal Environment Mega Bundle by HiveMind. You need to pay at least $25 to get all the 19 items. We'll get that in just a bit. Now, HiveMind did another environment bundle last year. Fortunately, most of these are new items, emphasis on most. And it includes the medieval village, stylized nature, destroyed building, a post-apocalyptic town, dungeon building kit, abandoned factory, dragon temple, medieval town, desert town. This is the realistic looking one. The medieval houses, wooden buildings, some sound effects. We can ignore those. Medieval weapon bundle, a stylized medieval village, medieval buildings, and castle kit. At the time of me making this video, there is about 19 days left. If it doesn't get extended, most of them do get extended. This supports trees, water, and people. As for the bundle detail, it does give you keys that you can redeem on the Epic Launcher. Now there is 3 price points. The $1 you get the modular castle kit, and the 24.67, which doesn't make sense. You can just pay 33 cents more to get all the items. When you buy the bundle, you get the keys for each individual asset. Yes, you have to redeem each of them. You click the reveal key and then redeem on the Epic Launcher, which I already did in another video, link in the description. As for the sound, you can directly download by clicking the download button. And the first asset we are looking at is the modular castle kit. It does look a bit stylized. As for the flags, they are animated using the material. And you can see that there is a bit of an interior, but this is not modular. And the description for the asset says that it's meant to be used as a backdrop. So as a backdrop assets. So there are no interiors, nor as modular. You can see the tiling and the repetition. And the materials here are actually very customizable in this kit. You can change the tiling. Of course, the textures are also changeable. And the normal intensity or the normal power can be changed with that scalar parameter. Although the pattern sharpness doesn't seem to do anything in the asset there, you can also change the different parts or different colors of the different parts of the for example, in this example, the wall. This one doesn't seem to do anything. This one, however, seems to tint the entire object. You can change the different parts, the roughness of the different parts. Also another tiling for the overlaying dirt and whatnot. So in conclusion, the pack is meant for a backdrop, but the materials are very customizable. Some parts are separated, like the windmill blades, and some parts of the walls are actually modular parts. Going to the next item is the medieval weapon pack or bundle. This actually does look very good. The modeling and they're low poly, by the way. The edges seem to be beveled, so there are no noticeable sharpness on the edges, so that's very appreciable. The texture is very good. The sheaths do look very good. I think it's one of the best looking medieval weapon packs I've seen. I guess these are the only pointy thing that I could find, and you can see the details are from textures or normal maps and not from the meshes itself or themselves. Different weapons, I actually very much like these, and it's a great addition to the environment bundles in my opinion. However, the materials are not that customizable, which is unfortunate. But there is that vertex color with the red channel that you can add blood on top of it. It's vertex colored. There are also logics included to be used with VR, although I haven't tried it myself. And this one is the modular medieval buildings. It was included in a previous bundle as the modular medieval town. As the name suggests, these are modular and are made into a blueprint or a prefab house blueprint. And there are a couple of them included as shown here, each in a different style. Very nice looking. And these are the modular parts that make up houses. They're very detailed, and the materials are actually customizable. We can see there's some customization here about the tint and whatnot. To quickly go over them, like this, you can change the color. And the maps are also changeable along with some parameters. These are the other parts. The castle parts are not modular. The interior is empty, as seen here. Up next is the stylized medieval village. It has a nice style to it. The interiors are also included. It's supposed to be like a market in the center of the town. And the trees. Now to me show as if it's geometry, but it's actually opacity mask. And yes, nanite is enabled on most of them. And for the forest, you can see these mushrooms, fantasy mushrooms, and these effects. These are actually Niagara. And the lake, although there is no post process under the water. Nevertheless, nice environment. And there's also the smoke VFX as can be seen on the chimneys. These are blueprint prefabs again. And something to mention, the folder name in the content browser is Stylized Island. Material a bit customizable. And on the trees, let's select one of them. To materials, let's check the leaves. We can change the color. And also change the leaf texture because it uses an opacity texture. It's like a card normally. So I don't know what to choose, but let's just choose this one. It's a bit large, but it does the job. And the meshes are actually kind of low poly, even though they have nanite enabled on them. Next is Modular Medieval Village. The main map, I couldn't open it, it would crash, so I had to go to the overview map. It is named Bandit Camp in the content browser. So if you are having a hard time finding the folder, that's the name that you should be looking for this pack. The quality is not bad. You see up close, and as the name says, it is modular. Some chairs here and a sword, although the quality is not as good as the medieval weapon showed previously. Yeah, thatch roofs. And these rocks with the moss on top, these are rotation based, so only the top part or the world Z plus part will get that moss on top. As for the trees, you can see they are animated. The animation is kind of a bit questionable, but it's not super realistic. Not bad either. Quality of the trees is not bad. And there are some general purpose props included as well. This wagon, this one I forgot what it's called, the one that blows air into forts to cool things down. There are a few customization on the material side. Then we have the modular destroyed buildings. Quality is good. Go into the interior. These are generally supposed to depict brick walls, brick buildings. You can see a lot of bricks and debris that are supposed to be fallen down. And nanite is enabled on some parts. For example, this wall consists of two parts, the brick on the inside and the other one on the outside. And the only the brick on the inside has nanite enabled. This is what the interior looks like. It's another destroyed building. These are modular parts. As for why nanite is not enabled on the outside, it's because of there's a bit of vertex painting. It allows you. Let's change the red channel. It allows you to add or delete the exterior mesh. I mean, this is just a material or a visual effect. Collision doesn't affect the collision. And on some bricks like this, the nanite is not enabled because of the vertex painting once again. That's basically why nanite is not enabled on some of the meshes. This is another destroyed building. I very much like these. There are also rebars. These are also included. Next is the post-apocalyptic town, which is called Junkertown in the content browser. I'm not sure about the quality of this one. I don't personally like this one, to be super honest. This bike is a pawn that you can supposedly drive. Hopefully I'll show that in a bit. The interior is like this for the buildings. And you can see the dust effect, although it doesn't look like dust at all. And this is like the central cafeteria. I don't know, I'm personally not a fan of this style. Let's walk around with the pawn. There are some blueprints like these doors that are included with some logics in them. Let's ride the bike. And doesn't work. And it does use enhanced input, so it should work normally, but it does not. And I'm too tired to debug. Anyways, the next is the stylized nature. The content folder is called Oni project. It is stylized as the name suggests. There are RVT blending with the landscape. You can see on the bottom of that part here. And on to the next one, which is the abandoned factory, also called the abandoned blowers. In the content folders, of course. These are the meshes. The quality is good. And these blood trails, they are decals. And the other one is actually is a spline. You can see it spawns decal like that. This is the outside with some vegetation, and we can see the exterior. It uses another mesh as the light occluder, so this is just an inside environment, which is a shame. And making the material double-sided won't make that much difference. And the meshes are just one piece static mesh, so there are no moving parts there. Looking at the wall, these also have customization using vertex color. And each channel does one thing. As for the material customization, there are not much. Next is Modular Dungeon Kit. It's called Dark Holes in the content folder. Again, there are many name discrepancies between the folder and the asset name. The statue here and the if these are Niagara VFX for each. The meshes do look okay. They may have nanite enabled, but they are usually not that high poly. They're actually kind of low poly. This is what the exterior looks like. Some cracks here. The mesh is not being snapped fully. Some cells. Like I said, these are Niagara VFX. Each part should be a different one. Looking at the customization, there are some customization. Then there is the modular desert town. There was another desert town in the previous bundle, but that was the stylized version of this. This is supposed to be more realistic. You can see nanite is enabled. These ornaments, however, those are actually just material and textures. And these are parallax occlusion on the brick walls here, so they're not displaced. However, the vertex count on the meshes are somewhat on the high side. The VFX on that one seems to have some errors. Regardless, I very much like this one. Needless to say that this is inspired by Counter-Strike's dust maps. And as can be seen, the vertices count is around 600,000 nanite vertices. You can see there are some customization on the material side. Next we have the Dragon Temple. It's called Dragon Rise on the content browser folder. You can see the ornaments there, the floor tiles, everything looks good. One thing to note is that the meshes in this pack are on the higher poly side, so they're best to be used with nanite. The floor is not nanite, but that can be fixed, and it's low poly, so it doesn't matter that much. However, there are few or no material customization on this one. In fact, I think there are only 2 material instances in this pack. They're just normal materials with textures. And there are some movie renders there included as well. And this one is yet again another modular medieval town. It is named Stylized Town Bundle on the content browser. And the normal showcase level wouldn't work. It would just crash my editor for some reason. Anyways, those were some vegetation, and now these are some fountains and these stairs. I think these are just single static meshes, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, contrary to the houses, those are modular. These are some carts, well, and some interior props. But I do think is the stairs are provided as separate static meshes, or the smaller parts here, like this one, these ones, and these are the other modular parts of the that make up the house, or houses, I should say. You can see there are the nanite is enabled for most of the parts except the ones with windows, because those are glass, and so far until 5.3 nanite is not yet enabled or supported by translucent materials. So the interior, I'm going to unlit mode because there are not much great interior lighting, that's why. And these are the other parts, this different house and different tower styles. So yeah, you can make a lot of different shapes. And yes, these are modular. One thing to notice is that the parts that don't have nanite supported, those do have vertex painting, so you can adjust those to add variation. As for material customizability, there are material customization here. This is for the wooden part. Next is the modular houses. These are Viking style, and in fact, it's kind of the same as the houses in the Viking village, if I'm not mistaken, and which was part of the previous bundle. These are just the houses there, and not the full, Viking village scene. You can see these are the modular parts. Nanite is enabled, however, most of it are from or most of the detail are from normal map textures and not Nanite itself. They're on the low poly side. The barrels and different props and the Viking ships. You can see there is some world align or world align textures included here. And finally, we got the modular wooden buildings. These are separate parts. I think it's the level is overexposed, so we have to get closer to get the correct colors. If I'm not mistaken, these were included, or they are the same houses as the one in the Pirate Island, which were also included in the previous bundle, but I'm not 100% sure about that, as it has been a long time since I have viewed that. These different house styles serve as a good example as to show what can be made, and these are all blueprints, so you can drag drop them. You can see some of it here. As for material customization, oops, not this one. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that vertex painting can be used to add variation. And of course, the sounds, I'm not gonna play that for obvious reasons. But that should be all. I should have uploaded this sooner, but I was sick for the past week, so it took a couple of days for me to record this. Overall, it's a great bundle, especially if you haven't had or gotten the last bundle by HiveMind. This one is very good, and even if you had gotten the last one, this one still is worth it, especially if there are some environments that you are interested in or you think that you're gonna use. It is worth it. The repetition is like 3: the modular Viking house, the wooden buildings, and the other one, the town. I don't know, to be honest, at this point, every one of them seems to have like medieval modular in words in their name, so it's kind of confusing. Regardless, hope you found this useful. Hope you have a great day.